Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Tales of Myth and Mayhem and our game of Fallout. It never fucking changes. Joining me, as always, is our players. Say hello, players.
Hello, players.
Hello, players.
Wonderful. Ripping off that joke from Dimension 20 never gets old. I love it. So, to catch us up, because we took a week off, I took a week off last week to concentrate on writing up everything else that happens, which I have done. Last week, the players, our intrepid heroes, successfully managed to, successfully finished a fight with the help of a mysterious person in power armor that appeared to have been severely burned. It turned out that this person in the power armor was what remains of poor, sweet, lovely Knight Maxie, who contributed heavily to the death of Freddie's wife, and Hazel Johnson, a hero from our heroes' original group that would found the town of Edinburgh. This Knight Maxie appeared in front of them ghoulified, but also heavily roboticized. I don't know what the verb is for potentially becoming a bit of a cyborg, but he's a bit lost as a Brotherhood of Steel, human purist, human supremacist, technology fetishist weirdo that the Brotherhood of Steel are. But he told our players that the Institute have been fighting a war up north against a rising robot threat that has taken over his order. He helped out the group as a way to pay back Freddy for his contribution to his wife's death, and as the team, and after he decided to leave, our group hacked and opened plenty of doors and explored a lot of offices to find, eventually, what remains of a compound bow, a pre-war compound bow, heavily rusted and falling to bits, a bag which had insurance written on it and contained a bar of gold, and most importantly, amongst a bunch of other random junk, 3 holotapes, each with the Vault-Tec logo on them, and each named variously Vault-Tec 1, Vault-Tec 2, Vault-Tec 3. Our players did read on a computer various things about how the factory had been retrofitted to take on contracts from Vault-Tec, and there were references to holotapes that needed to be inputted somewhere in the factory to get the robotic workforce started. So, essentially, you've got something. You've got a bunch of tapes. Now, these tapes will fit into a Pip-Boy and most computers you find in the world. You could easily identify that. Anyone who's used a Pip-Boy for any amount of time would know this. These are very standard holotapes. The only difference is that these have a plastic embossed Vault-Tec logo on them. And these are the kind of things that I think only Augusta will have necessarily seen before, these kinds of tapes. But yeah, you scavenged and searched around the factory after this. You basically went room by room, tearing the place apart. In there, you came across a room where the custodial staff of one used to be before being replaced by a robot. In this room, it was basically empty, except on the wall, it just said over and over again in graffiti art, fuck Vault-Tec, fuck General Atomics, fuck Vault-Tec, fuck General Atomics. Continue. You also walked around the staff room, or what was the staff room, and all you found in there was a bunch of bones. But in and around, you did find a tremendous amount of raw materials and junk, especially on the truck outside, which is where we will carry on. So, at 9 a.m. this morning, you were given 24 hours by the leader of Monofonto Towers to explore and scope out Good Neighbor. You arrived around 10 a.m. at the General Atomics Tower, at the General Atomics factory. Around 10:30 to 11, you had finished all of your fights and chatting with Knight Maxi, and you elected to scavenge this factory for 2 hours. So it is now just after 1 p.m. in the afternoon. You have 20 hours to report back to Monofonto Towers if you so wish. You are now all just standing outside after having scavenged everything. You are there with Caitlin and Dolores, who have both kind of cleaned themselves up a little bit. They've sort of calmed down a little bit. They took some water. And yeah, they're just standing around not entirely sure what they're going to do with themselves. So, what would you like to do?
Any of you guys know how to drive this truck?
I mean, I have an idea on principle, but I've never actually driven one.
Caitlin says...
I don't... What are the 3 pedals for?
Caitlin says, we weren't allowed to drive the truck for obvious reasons. We had to walk alongside it. It was one of the cool looking synths that did the driving.
Driving, is that pilot?
In this case, yes, it's pilot.
Because I actually have 2 in pilot.
All right.
So I might at least have an idea.
Can you fit in the driving position, though?
I'm not that big.
I was more worried about the truck than you, to be honest.
I'm not thick, I'm big boned.
Hey, no judgment, but a mutant's a mutant, even a small mutant.
Yeah. We still got to decide, are we going to go to Good Neighbor and do what he wants, or are we going to... Well, what are we going to do? I mean, I don't really want to help here at all, but we need to find a board. Get out of here. What do we think?
Yes. And from reading on those emails on the terminal, I'm wondering what kind of package had been moved from that office to the baseball arena that's now Diamond City and hidden there.
Yeah, it sounded like he buried it there. Was that right?
Stuffed under a seat, I think.
Oh, yes.
Unless anyone has looked under the seats, I mean, it could still be there.
I mean, people have had a lot to do since then, but I'd imagine people would have been scavenging. Might be worth a look, though. But I'd be inclined to try and do the good neighbor thing, but if it's not what everyone else wants to do, I'm not the boss of y'all.
I think we should check out Good Neighbor just so we know what the land is like, because when we woke up this morning, we figured Diamond City was the enemy. And now we just learned from someone who saved our ass that it's our friend.
Well, at least not our enemy directly, but it seems it wants to enslave all the humans. Look at the other two.
Yeah, that's a little odd too, if they're fighting a war to protect us. It does make sense. They were saying they were trying to protect us when we were shooting at them.
Caitlin pipes up and says, wait, what do you mean Diamond City's not the enemy?
Well, this guy in Power Armour that saved our hoops fighting the synths claimed that they are keeping the Brotherhood of Steel at bay up north from running over everyone here and turning everyone into half human, half robots. So there's more going on than we know or understand.
She looks down for a second, then Dolores stands up and says, well, that does make sense. We've been making synths. Essentially, that's what they have done. They have turned Diamond City into a work camp making synths that just always walk out the gate and we never see them again. That explains where they were going. They've been going up north to fight whatever the hell this Brotherhood are doing.
It feels like almost every robot I've encountered since I've come out my vault has been a bit weird.
Little Miss Nanny just keeps staring forward and doesn't say anything. But even
you know what?
you
Miss
can
Nanny's
detect a
exception...
sense of consternation from this robot.
Miss Nanny, as we worked with Miss Nanny before we turned Miss Nanny on properly to avoid that happening.
I am only dedicated to you, my darling.
And you are wonderful.
So Caitlin says, so you're saying that the Institute are good for what they've done?
Well, I wouldn't say good, but their purpose is at least protecting you, or what's left of you. To prevent the advancement.
They execute us if we don't work hard enough.
I'm not saying they're good
with the slavery business, but we need to know more before we actually take action.
If they're the only thing preventing this whole area from being overrun, are they being evil? Yes.
This might be the time to check those tapes.
That's a good idea.
My only wondering is whether we go somewhere private for that, or whether we do that in front of everyone.
Olivia speaks up and says, well, it's possible. I mean, we need to find something that can read them. It's possible that they were encrypted. That's what I do know. But, you know, I mean, try them on your Pip-Boy. Let's see what happens.
That was going to be my first step. And if that didn't work, we've got computers in there that could probably read them. Or I could connect the computer to the Pip-Boy or something like that.
Let's do it.
Right. Okay, so Augusta takes one of the tapes and opens the Pip-Boy up and places the tape inside, closes it again, and activates whatever on the Pip-Boy should tell us what's on the tape.
So as it loads up on your Pip-Boy, you see a little circle spiral out, and Vault Boy, Pip-Boy, whatever his name is, comes up and just goes, then frowns and then it just says at the bottom, error, key not installed.
Right, it's encrypted and we need a key of some kind. This is fine. I'll take it out again just in case it does anything drastically. It tries to reformat the tape or something.
Olivia says, that looks about right. I mean, this wasn't my department, but Vault-Tec was always very, very protective of his intellectual property. There was this group of, I don't know if you could call them fans, but they started making their own bootleg technology based on what they could get from raiding Vault-Tec trucks right before everything went to shit. Like, well, it was already going to shit because we didn't have enough food, we didn't have enough anything. People started raiding trucks, and Vault-Tec started to essentially shoot these people on sight. Like, they were very protective of their intellectual property all the way to the end. That's what I do know. Maybe one of the computers in the factory will work, but if that doesn't work, maybe if we can find a working computer in, I don't know, a Vault-Tec office, head office of some kind, that might be a spot, but other than that, I don't know. Like, I didn't do hardware, so...
I'm fine with having a go at hacking it, but it would have been very embarrassing to go to all the hassle of like getting a computer, looking for keys, trying to hack it there when it would have worked on my actual Pip-Boy that I've got on me. So it's always worth trying that thing first.
Augusta, you have a very logical mind, and I like how you have a... I like how you know how to avoid people thinking that you're silly. I think you're a very smart person, and I'm sorry I'm talking too much. I'm going to walk away now. And Olivia walks away sheepishly, having realised halfway through her relationship with Augusta, and kind of hides behind Jade.
Well, that's certainly a thing that happened. Everyone else, what? I mean, I don't want to. I could just wander in and try this just now, or should we put it to one side and get back to it?
Well, I think that's important information to know because it'll guide us on what we might want to do.
Is it only me that hears Tim like hacking, going in and out of?
I'll move closer. How about that?
Better, thank you.
I had to turn down the sensitivity.
Now you sound a lot more drive-by, smooth, 6 p.m. till 9, getting you home with the lightest jazz sounds.
Excellent. All right. I will. Well, we will probably need to know what's on those tapes so we can decide if we want to go into Diamond City. I really don't want to do that. Is there
I
a
really don't
possible
either.
way?
But I also don't want to like make you all just stand around while I'm doing this.
If you're, Caitlin says, if you're looking to get into Diamond City, I mean, one, that might be a little bit suicidal, but I'm thinking you probably all knew that already.
A little?
You seem pretty capable and smart. But also, there's only one way in, because people have been trying to escape for weeks, and no one's ever really found a way out. Like, there was a bunch of people who tried to go through the sewers, but then they got cut down by turrets. There was a bunch of people who just tried to run out the front gate when it was open. Again, they were cut down by turrets. Somebody figured out that there was an old fire escape, and maybe that was unguided, and, turrets again.
So what you're saying is we need to be invited in.
Or at least keep in mind that they're trying to prevent people to come out, not prevent people to come in. So there might be alternates.
People have been calling at Diamond City. Like, there have been traders that have shown up to try and dump stuff off, and when they tried to reach somebody on, like, the speaker thing outside, which is what you usually do to get in, to be fair, the Institute, they haven't been murdering everyone who shows up. Like, from what
to be fair.
And everyone? Not everyone, I mean.
Well,
besides that,
they only tend to murder us. It's not great. They're not great. These are not good robots, people, whatever the fuck they are. They're pretty fucking horrible, if I'm being honest. And at that point, she starts laughing a little bit and looks very, very tired.
Do you all want to be doing anything whilst I'm looking at the tapes, or do you want to come and look at the tapes as well?
I think we should at least learn what's on them, but I can do more scavenging a little bit while you're doing that, see if there's anything else.
I can wait to listen to the tapes.
Sure.
Might just be robot control tapes for this factory, but we should know before we leave anyways.
Normally they put something in the code at the start to say what it is if it's a program.
I'm going to go check on Mikey J and Kumu. You guys do what you need to do. I'm trying to figure out what Mikey J was doing to Kumu before. Kept yelling and...
Just a thing I discovered when reading about healing just before stream. That food restore health points too. And I don't know, I have just assumed that Tim is the one keeping track on food because he promised he would do that. But when we are down on health point, it might be a good idea to know how much they heal. Whatever you are feeding us.
I mean, we haven't been calling what we've been eating really, but we could do that.
On the Tumu sheet and on the general scavenging sheet, that should have a column on it saying how much HP each food item restores.
And not every food item restores, keep that in mind, but I've been trying to keep track. I can go through it again. It's been a while since I've double checked, but I all have there.
Because since I have just healed everyone after the fight, I'm not sure I can do it again, and some of us
Here, have an iguana on the stick.
Still low. Michelle, how does that work with our companions, NPCs? Are we suddenly...
The rule book, as I could understand it, does not specify how this works with companion characters at all. So I have decided that for pure simplicity, they sort themselves out.
Okay.
Like, General Isaacs goes off and just hunts a couple of mole rats or something. Mikey J just finds packs of bubble gum lying around. Like they're all survivors to a certain extent, except Olivia, But Olivia is a ghoul, so doesn't necessarily need food as much as other people do. So she's probably going to be all right. So yeah, but basically they'll sort themselves out. You don't need to worry about them.
I'm assuming their food comes from the same place as their ammunition.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
That is actually a rule in the game. NPCs don't have ammo, and companions are a form of NPC. Therefore, they have essentially infinite ammo. But I have sort of house ruled that you can't take the piss with that. Like, you can't give General Isaacs a fucking mini nuke and just have an infinite mini nuke machine gun. Like, that's just silly. But within reason, like, non-explosive ammo, they can handle it themselves. They've got infinite ammo, essentially.
I think we found a way to make a door into Diamond City, everyone. What's that, or the trebuchet? Okay, I'm going to take the tapes to our computer and I'm going to try and either find a key or hack them open.
You found 2 computers. Well, technically you found 3 computers because there is a computer on the back door, but that's probably not going to help. There's
one that I'd already hacked that I was opening the doors with.
Yeah, you've hacked 2 computers at this point. You've hacked the computer on the ground floor and the computer in the office. So both are essentially going to be the same. I'm not going to make you go through the rigmarole of doing both of them. You're either going to access the tapes or you're not on either of them. So, it doesn't really matter which one you pick.
I probably default to the office one just in case it's got additional permissions rather than one downstairs.
Fair enough, that makes sense. So you go back upstairs. You see like the corpse of the XN20A sitting on the floor, lying on the floor where you left it. It has. Freddy did go over all of the bodies, and for whatever reason, all of the flashy equipment that was being held by the Striders and the XN robot evaporated on death. Not great. But that is a thing that can happen with Institute technology. But yeah, you step through the remains of the Protectrons and enter the office, and you insert the tape into the computer in the office. And again, the Vault Boy circle comes up. Then the face goes straight and just says, "Incorrect." Oh wait, no. Incorrect unit. Insert downstairs.
Wow, it knows where it is. That's cool. Okay, I'm going to take it downstairs and do the same thing again.
All right.
On the way back down.
You take it down to the office on the ground floor. You insert the tape. The logo comes up. And this time it returns with a frown and just says, "Key not installed."
Okay, what was Vincent trying to say? Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
On our way down, I'm going to listen to the door we left closed, if the glowing ghoul in there has settled down or not.
You don't hear anything, but you can see that there is still glowing. Give me a perception survival check.
Ooh.
DC 2. It would be DC 1 if it was a normal door, but this is a metal door, so a metal heavy door.
Let's see here. There's survival. And not luck. Good grief. Yes, 2 successes.
Perfect. So as you move close to the door, put your ear to the door, you can hear this.
I make a gesture to Augusta as we head down the stairs.
Augusta tiptoes down the stairs.
Okay, you go down the stairs. Whatever that thing is doing, it appears to be calmer than it was. You go down to the computer, you insert the tape, and it essentially comes up with the same thing as it did on the Pip-Boy.
It could be I have to hack a third computer. Or we just double checked that there's nothing in here that we could connect that would act as a key.
For what it's worth, when you were looking at as you were looking around the factory floor, a lot of the machinery has been taken away. It is very possible that the computer or terminal or part of the factory that these tapes were designed to go into has ended up as either junk in the truck or has already been taken to Diamond City and has been already reconstituted into a synth, essentially. That is a very real possibility because this place has been thoroughly scrapped and scavenged over several different trips.
And most recently by us.
Yeah.
Okay, this isn't turning out to be quite as straightforward as I'd hoped. Maybe we can't do this here.
Yeah, it's disappointing. We might need to find an actual Watt Tech building.
We just left some of those. Damn it. Okay, we are on a time limit though, so we do need to move on if we're going to move on. It's a question of where to.
Yeah, I think we should go up to Good Neighbor, see what's going on, get more news, then report back when we know more, and then we'll see where we go from there.
Entirely fair. I'm kind of with you on that, but I don't want to tell everyone else what they have to. I know
we'll see what they want, but
this vault suit comes with a reputation out here, and I don't want to play into that, to be honest. So I don't want to be telling everyone what to do.
What were we asked by her to tell her when we get to the walkie-talkie? Are they just going to use it to signal a nuke strike? What are we
I
going to
assume
do?
they're just tracking us.
that's what they said, just tracking us.
What do you say? Should we head for Good Neighbor?
Good Neighbor sounds like at least to find out more information. What about those two?
I guess they can come or not. It's up to them.
Yeah, I'm fine with them coming along. They can help look after camp for us.
Well, I know that.
Are you talking about us, Dolores?
Yeah. Dolores, yes. I know you want to get home to find Kathy or Cassie.
Well, no, that's Caitlin that wants to go and find her
Caitlin,
daughter. I'm off. I'm leaving. I'm going to head. I think I'm going to head south or west, maybe. Try and find another settlement. Well, maybe I could try my luck at Monofonto Towers.
It's crime-ridden, but I think you could cope.
I know Monofonto. I've done some deals there. I have a doctor there. Professor Doctor. He's my doctor. I see him every now and again.
Oh, okay, that guy. If you go, don't use our name and expect that to help. Okay.
I don't know your
and
names.
also,
I don't know who the fuck you people are.
Exactly. Do it exactly like that, and you'll be fine.
All right. Well,
and
I'm off then, I guess. Good luck, Caitlin. Sorry, and bye. And she runs away.
just a fair
Didn't
warning.
we save the doctor?
Yes.
The doctor's okay, but he's a complete cook.
Oh,
He's not to be trusted.
He's tried his product a little too much.
At that point, Caitlin
And
says,
he looks over to Dolores. Be warned, though. They are looking to recruit anybody that shows up and go on their mission to take out Goodmead.
well,
But have a good trip. I wish you well. And Freddy turns around.
thanks. Bye. And she runs away. Caitlin just looks on us a little bit astonished, just like, she's always a self-absorbed bitch. Well, I'm heading over to Diamond City. I'm going to see if I can run into Cassie. If you see her, could you please tell her I'm there? And also, please tell her that it's all forgiven. Everything. Alright? Like, selling all of my stuff, all of it, just... And if you see her, just send her to me at Diamond City, or just send her to... You say Monofonto's safe.
For now, at least.
I mean, what is safe, really?
Well, if she doesn't want to go to Diamond City, maybe send her there and I'll catch up with her. Tell her to either head to... definitely tell her to go to Monofonto Towers. Tell her to go to Monofonto Towers and wait there, and I will go there if she doesn't arrive in Diamond City in a day or two. Thank you. I know I haven't been grateful enough to you for what you did here. Thank you.
Are you sure you could get out of Diamond City again if you get in?
I'm not going back in. I'm going to wait outside and see if Cassie shows up there. My husband, he would understand. I think he would understand me not going back. If nobody goes back, they may just assume that everyone died. Maybe.
Entirely fair. Just watch out for turrets.
No need to tell me twice. Thanks again. And she walks off roughly in the direction of Diamond City. So now the question is, where are you going? What are you doing next?
On Afonso
Jade, do you
Tower,
think
I
you can
believe.
drive this truck? Honestly, do you think you can drive this truck? And can we get Tumu on the truck?
If it's a truck, we can put her in
Is
the
it
back.
a pickup truck, flatbed, half ton? What are we talking here, Overseer?
I'd say, I don't know how much it's carrying in tonnage, but it is a flatbed. And it's basically got this big pile of junk on it that...
Okay, are we talking semi-style, or are we talking like just a truck with a
I've got it in my
behind
mind, but I don't know enough about trucks to describe it. One sec. Let me just Google some images. I know what I'm looking for. It's a flatbed.
Well, I'm just trying to get an idea of space we could put stuff on. If it's like a semi, which is 80 feet,
It's not a
Have you
semi.
put-
When I say truck, it's not like a big American haulage truck. It's like somewhere between a van and a truck, really, but with a flatbed in the back.
I got it. Okay, I can picture it. We used to have some of those at the farm. I know exactly what you're kind of envisioning here.
I was thinking of a farm too, funnily enough.
But yeah, on the back.
Actually, I was too.
On the back, there is room for people to maybe sit on a bits of the junk. Tumu would struggle. It would be a struggle to get Tumu up off the ground onto the truck. Not impossible, but would probably need several people to lift her. And when she's on the truck, there wouldn't be many places for a four-legged beast to stand. It would be difficult. There is...
You're not doing that to my Tumu as Freddy gets in,
Absolutely
He'll
not.
walk alongside.
I mean, it's probably easier if we have to drive the car slowly. Then
if we take some stuff off Tumu and put it on the truck, then Tumu might be less encumbered, which might help.
He's fine. We're barely over. You quickly scroll down. Not even close to a couple 100 pounds yet. We got plenty of room on Tumu.
Fine. You know your beast best.
He doesn't want anybody touching his stuff.
So to give you some more information about the truck, there are 3 seats in the cabin, one for the driver, one in the middle, and one on the it's America is on the other side, and one on the right, the passenger side. And yeah, so like one person could drive, 2 humanoid shaped people could fit in. Jade could probably sit in the driver's seat, but that would probably mean that there would only be room for 1 extra person in the cabin, maybe. But yeah, like Jade could fit into the cabin. This cabin is like it was designed with a couple of feet above like the average sized person. So like Jade, a super mutant of a super mutant size could fit. Jade is slightly smaller, so definitely could fit. The only thing is that this is not the kind of vehicle that you would find in our world. This is a nuclear powered, like a nuclear fission powered engine. It doesn't really do gears the same way. It doesn't really have a clutch the same way. It's got more in common with a computer that runs like a mini reactor than it does with a petrol or diesel motor car in our world.
So again, Jade might know more about it than I do.
Potentially, this is very much a pre-war like truck thing. But it looks astonishingly new. Like it looks like it's come from the pre-war world. You can't really work out whether it is a pre-war truck that has just been refurbished a lot or an entirely new truck the Institute made themselves. You can't work that out, but yeah.
By the way, it's not only the US, the rest of Europe driving the right side too.
Good to know that what is just one of the many things the UK is wrong about a lot.
You were the odd one out on this one.
We're the odd one out on so many things. We got metric right. That's one thing we got right. We got rid of imperial because that's just silly. But yeah, well, actually, in the entirety of Britain's history as a thing, we've made a lot of terrible mistakes. I'm sorry, almost the entire global south. And lots of parts of South America, which doesn't get talked about a lot. But that's for another fucking stream. That is not for this stream. This is a fun stream about fun things. Imperialism, yeah, right. Yeah. So what would you like to do with this truck? Or anything?
I mean, it feels like a good thing to have with us. Doesn't
It
it?
feels like when we're up against the clock, it would get us there faster than walking.
Except that we can't have Tumu.
Tumu can go reasonably quick. I think Tumu's been slowed down by us, to be honest.
Okay.
Mikey
Freddie
J just
jump
looks
on
at
the
you
back
and
and
just...
ride him.
Sorry, what are you saying?
Freddie jumps on the back of Tumu and says, "We'll ride from here on out." And Mikey, jump on the back of the truck and take a look and keep an eye out.
I'm just imagining Freddy
Yeah.
sitting astride the nuclear weapons on top of
Yep.
Tumu.
Mikey J
And,
nods, gives Tumu a sneer, and then jumps on the back of the truck.
Oh, sorry. You there, little girl. I have granddaughter down by here.
Is it just pilot perception on?
Yeah, to get an assessment of the cabin and the controls. Yeah, perception pilot.
Ooh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah,
I know what to do
can't
with
do
this
much
one.
about that.
So you look at the cabin and you have no idea at all how this works. Like, you know that the steering wheel would go right and left. You can see that there's a bunch of buttons on the dashboard. There's there's 3 foot pedals, but you don't know which one would necessarily do what. And you have no idea how to even start this thing. Like, you look at it and it is incomprehensible to you. Which, in a way, makes sense because you were, what, like 5 or something when you went into the vault? Like...
No, 13.
You were like 13 years old when you went into the vault. Yeah. And it's been a few hundred years. And you've not really been focusing on that kind of thing. You've been focusing on medical things, so...
And he have been in the vault for 200 years. So...
Yeah, so you are pretty convinced that you, Jade, cannot drive this thing.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you roll a critical failure, just so people know.
I mean, at least that's better than the engine exploding or something. So...
Yeah, that might have been a 20. If you actually interacted with the vehicle and rolled a 20, you might have broken the vehicle. Like, so this is better to fail on this one for sure.
Yes. Well, let's... So Jade will sit in there and look around and, like... No. I don't think I can do this.
Olivia's with you and just says, like, I mean, I used to have a car pre-war. This looks pretty kind of familiar. Only thing is, we don't have a key. She points to a little slot and says, like, we need a key to go in there.
I mean, they were loading it up, right?
Yeah.
Not scavenging from it. So the key must be somewhere.
Yeah, you scavenged the inside already. You did not find a key. The scavenging included the corpses and bodies of the synths, but their weapons self-destructed upon their death. And when you search, and Freddy, when you search the body of the the cool XN20A who you slaughtered last time. There was no key there. There was nothing on him.
I mean, now I'm not the one to. Since Jay doesn't know shit about it, he will not be the one to propose to look at the ignition to see if it looks like it was a key.
Olivia says, in holotape movies, there was always somebody who could hotwire a car. But does anyone here have any experience with Then she looks around and just looks at all of the dilapidated roads and dead cars. Everyone's just like, yeah, I guess that might be a skill set that doesn't really exist anymore.
Oh, what's keeping you guys? Hurry up.
Olivia, do you remember what hot wiring a car looked like? Would Augusta be able to reason out what you have to do?
Olivia says, well, what they tend to do in the films is, and she points in the cabin and says, under here, what usually they do is they pull off they pulled this off, and pointing to like the cover, the metallic cover, and they would do something with the wires. They would just twizzle around some wires and stuff, which I always thought was silly because this is a nuclear fusion powered vehicle. I'm not sure what the wires necessarily would do, but
I guess it's just bypassing the operation of the key. And she pulls out the thing and tries to have a little look.
Okay, Kat, do you have your hand up?
Yeah.
Oh. I'll call on you. Yes, Kat.
It was outside, I see. I just looked. Olivia actually have pretty high. I don't know if it would help, but repair. And
Olivia says, I mean, I could have a look and try and work things out, work out if there's a way that we could do it, but, you'll have to pull off this cover and let's have a peek.
And then we have a multi-tool that reduces the difficulty of repair test by 1.
I would say this definitely comes under repair.
Yeah. And because she have repair 3 and intelligence is one of her tags. Do you have anything like that, Augusta?
I've got repair 3. And just seeing if there's anything else that's relevant. Pilot, no, forget about it. Science is pretty good.
Yeah. And my repair is only 2, but it's intelligence based. That's one of my tag skills too. But
I have repair 3 as well.
Hey.
So
we can just take turns until one of us succeeds, right?
Or if you assist, if Olivia is the one like looking at it or guiding or whatever, and the rest of you is helping out, assisting, then it should build up, right? Then the multi-tool will make it 1 less difficulty.
Yeah, Carl has an intelligence of 7, so my target number would be 10 if that helps decide who should lead this effort.
My intelligence is an 8, plus 2 is 10. And then it's attack skill, so that gives 1 and 2 for critical success.
Augustus is 9 intelligence, and then there's lab coats and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm looking up. This sounds like it's going to be a group effort, which means this will be a group test. So, okay, here's the way to do it. You will need to do a roll to work out a suitable way forward, and then you will have to do a roll to see if you are successful in doing the thing you have assessed. So the first roll would be a lot easier. Working out what to do is always easier than doing something. That would be a DC 3 repair intelligence. and you can do that as a group. But obviously, when you try to do the whatever repair you do, whatever work you do, that would be done by one person who can be assisted. Because one person can sit there, one person can fiddle with the wires. You know, three sets of hands. That would just make it harder, if anything. So yeah, first test would be a group test. I need you to look it up on my cheat sheet how to do that again.
Okay, and Olivia have 11 repair and intelligence together, and intelligence is attack skill, so that's 1, 2, and 3.
So yeah,
For
to do this group test, the group elects a leader who does a main role as normal. So for you, it would be best to select the person who's got the most chance of success. Other players,
Sounds like Olivia.
Other players assist and roll their chosen attribute plus skill. That means that each player would roll 1 dice to add to the pool. So as long as the leader gets 1 success, any other successes from assists can be added. Any complications generated by anyone in the group can be applied by the GM after resolving the test and its consequences.
All right, let's roll.
I'm trying to work out if I should do intelligence and science or intelligence and lockpick.
To work out, because this is a repair, so intelligence is definitely the thing. You're going to use your noggin to work this out, and repair, you need knowledge on what certain wires and certain things would do. So this would, to work it out, it would be an intelligence repair. To actually do it would be another test. It would be a lot harder.
And just 1 die.
Yeah. Because essentially everyone is acting as an action point. Essentially, that's kind of what the system is. So yeah, Olivia's got 0 successes. So at this point, it doesn't matter. At this point, she has failed, which means you all fail. She's looking through the wires and stuff, and it's just like.
can we use action points to reroll?
You could, but in this case, you are just sitting outside of a factory fiddling around with some wires, so there's no reason why you couldn't just do the whole test again. The only thing is it would take time. So every time you do this, it would take you a couple of minutes. So yeah, I'll be keeping tabs on that. It would be about 3 minutes each roll. So you'd just be sacrificing time at this point.
Yeah. There is 1.
Okay, Olivia's got 1 success. Carl does not succeed, I'm assuming. You need a 10.
Yep.
Freddie does not add any successes. Augusta adds a success. So that's 2 out of 3.
Let's see. You said DC 3?
Yes.
Is that before or after the minus from the multi-tool?
Oh, the multi-tool, that reduces it by 1, doesn't it? So yeah, that means you succeeded.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So in that case, Olivia fiddles around with some wires, uses the multi-tool a little bit, and then says, all right, I think I found a way. It's a little complicated, because there's a lot more wires here than in the film, in the moving pictures. But I think with this, and this, if I strip these down, and is anyone chewing any gum? And at that point, Mikey J says, "I am." And she's like, "Right, give me your gum." All right, I think I can do this. And for Olivia to do this, this is going to be a DC 4. It's not intelligence at this point, because this is basically a dexterity check at this point, because this is requiring physical dexterity to actually implement the fix. So this would be a DC 4 dexterity repair. Which I'm going to say this is a group thing as well, because others could come in and out and swap out. So this is a group test too, so other people can contribute if they think they have the right stuff. If there is somebody with a better dexterity and a better repair, they could attempt to do the repair, whilst Olivia offers support in the back, adding an extra dice but essentially being there in the back saying, that bit goes there. No, stop. No, that you got to twizzle that bit, and so on.
Dex, is that agility?
Yeah, agility. That's what I meant.
Yeah, it's not called that in this because it has to spell that
special.
word.
Yeah. So
The original
agility,
Fallout games were
that's
essentially based off the system called GURPS, which nobody plays anymore. And so its special was kind of, but then they lost the license for GURPS, so they had to adapt it without being GURPS, so they just changed the names for everything. So that's why it is what it is.
Excuse you, GURPS is an excellent system, and I happily play it.
I never see it anymore. I never see anyone
Agility
playing
9.
it. I'm in an RPG club that never runs it. Like, I've never come across anyone playing it in my life. I'm sure it is wonderful. It lasted for like decades, but it's just not that commonly played anymore. I wasn't trying to be shitty about GURPS.
Anyways, Carl has agility 9 with those 3 repair for a base chance of 12 if he does repairs.
That is better than Olivia. She have 9 altogether.
All right.
And I can't imagine Jade
Augustus'
has...
agility is not high.
No, and Jade's not either. His is 4. So that's 6 altogether. I don't even think I will try to assist on that one.
All right.
All right, so who's going to be the leader of this? It's going to be Carl?
Yeah.
Seems like it.
All right. For this, because Olivia was essentially the chief of the intelligence working things out test, add an extra dice for her. As if she's another player, adding a dice. So 1 dice for her, based on her skills and stuff.
Good. And how many successes do I need?
There needs to be 4, but if a multi-tool is in play, that becomes a 3.
I'll take that multi-tool. And
but then Olivia can't roll for assist if Carl have the extra dice.
You mean with the multi-tool?
No. You just gave Carl an extra die to roll because of Olivia's previous
I meant
help.
the group that Olivia is essentially going to be another dice. So if you roll her dice, Cat.
Okay. So it's still an assist, so she have to... Yep, okay.
all right, let's roll.
Carl has 1 success, 2 more to go.
No pressure, but you've only got 1 die, haven't you?
Yeah, and it'd have to be under 9, and...
Not that result.
Kat, what have you done to the Geist gods?
Maybe I didn't thank them enough for my calendar. I don't know.
I'm assuming Jade and Augusta, Freddie, and everyone's going to be trying to help with this.
Let's see if Jade can do anything. Just for...
Is this agility repair now or intelligence repair?
Agility repair. Because this is the actual doing with hands and fingers and stuff. All right, based on those rolls...
Sorry, can we just... I just got a critical.
Yeah. So based on that roll, here's what happens. Carl, Olivia, Jade, and Freddie all try their best. Olivia shouting instructions from behind, but for whatever reason you put things together as she planned, nothing is happening. And at that point, Augusta just gets a little bit impatient. You've been at this for around 10 minutes at this point, and you just jump into the cab and you start. Your vision becomes technical lines and algorithms and arithmetic, and you suddenly work out that there is a blue wire under the hood that has not been factored into your plan. So you take that and you wrap it around this massive handful of other wires, and you connect them together, and you grab grab the former bubblegum blue stuff from Olivia and use that to wrap it round. And then you take two other wires and you go, and with a whoosh, the vehicle lights up and the engine, or reactor really, starts to rumble. The dashboard lights up. You can see that the reactor has got 63% left, which, I mean, 63% above 50, and it could probably go for a while. You have a working truck.
Nice.
Cool. I'm not moving anything in the way, so make sure you drive around stuff.
Augusta leaves the cab and climbs into the back, saying to Jade, "I think the wheel makes it turn."
We did decide that Olivia probably was the best to drive, right? Because she actually had a car.
Well, they say you never forget how to ride a bike, and I have probably not forgotten how to ride a car. Driving this might be a challenge, but let's see. And she jumps into the cabin. At that point, she presses the horn. All right, let's do this.
Be nice to Tumu.
Oh, hold up, Tumu. Don't honk that horn again.
Don't scare the beast. Do you see it as a insult to call it a beast? Because in that case, I won't do it.
It is a beast. Just happened to be a cow beast. Ish beast.
Good.
All right, let me get the. I guess this is time for the area map to make a return.
Yep.
Tim, how much HP was did that food you gave me give?
If you took the stick, it was 6.
Thank you.
Iguana on a stick.
Yep.
Iguana kebab.
Nice.
All right. So if we look at the map, where are you heading to? You said you were heading to Good Neighbor, right?
Yes, I think so.
Okay. So as you can see, there is a straight road all the way up to Good Neighbor that you could take. Because now that you are in this vehicle was not made for off-road. Essentially, you can use this vehicle on any of the lines on this map. You may face certain blockages, certain detritus and crap, or other things that may be in the way, or maybe parts of this road have sort of fallen away, but you wouldn't be able to, say, drive a straight line from, say, Boston Public Library to Parkview, cutting across country. You'd have to take the lines, if you see what I mean.
Unless we had an NPC on the front firing mini nukes.
Yeah.
Sorry, I am going to let that go now.
You can joke. It won't change my mind.
I was just thinking strapping him to the side and just driving it into the building or running it into the building. That'll open the front door, wouldn't it?
So Fenway Park, in our world, which is what Diamond City is very big. like, you'll probably know this more than me, Tim, even if you're not that into baseball. Like, it is like an 80,000 seater arena. Right? I mean, let me double check.
Oh, I've been to a few arenas, usually for concerts, and I've been to a few football games, so I got a good idea.
Fenway Park in our universe in 2024 has 37,755 seats. I can imagine that even though in the video game of Fallout 4, there are not that many seats in it, mostly because that would just be a complete waste of RAM to render that every time you go into Diamond City. But essentially, if you ran this a mini nuke into Diamond City on the front of this thing, you could probably take out the front gate. You could probably make an opening. But then there is no guarantee that you wouldn't kill innocent people. There's no guarantee that after you did that, an army of synths would come out and kill you all immediately. That would be a very...
Hang on, can I just check? Were we heading for Good Neighbor or Diamond City?
Yeah, Good
I
Neighbor.
thought we were going to Good Neighbor.
Yeah,
in
we're
that
going to
case,
Good Neighbor.
nuking Good Neighbor, that is a high risk maneuver. I won't stop you doing it. I will never stop you from nuking anywhere. But
Well,
yeah,
we wouldn't do that.
that would be...
I'm thinking we could use the car for something like that if we had.
Yeah, I just don't
Oh,
want to get a reputation for nuking everywhere we go.
Every other place?
I mean, you nuke one city one time, and suddenly everyone's talking about it like you nuke everything.
Did we already have that reputation?
Shh.
I didn't say it was true. I just said I vaguely remember someone.
I've been to lots of cities and never nuked any of them except that one time.
And that's all they remember, I know.
All right, so I'm assuming you're not actually planning to nuke anywhere, so we could just assume that you're going to start driving towards Good Neighbor.
Yes, sir.
So some people jump on the back, some people walk alongside. There's not enough room for everyone, but you know, this isn't necessarily going a million miles an hour anyway because it's quite held down by all of the junk and stuff, which there is almost an infinite supply of raw materials on here that could maybe be used for crafting or something else. Like I said, there is a considerable amount of copper, which I'll tell you what, let's see if you remember. Augusta, roll me 1d20. No, actually, roll me 1d10. Then add your intelligence to it, but then take away 4 from the final result. So what's your intelligence?
9, ma'am.
So that becomes 5. You roll a 4, which is under 5. You remember that before everything went to shit, that you were discussing with...
Water pipes.
Yes, you remember that you were discussing with...
Zebedee,
yes. The need for constructing water pipes to carry water from the purifier in Edinburgh to all of the individual homes. You think that there may be a significant amount of copper here, enough to do many homes, maybe not all of them, but a good chunk of homes.
Nice.
Putting the copper to one side, I think, and asking Freddie please to not sell it.
I don't know how much a ton is, but let's just say that there is like a ton of copper on this thing, like a literal ton. So not necessarily something you can put to one side, but just something for you to keep in mind. So you make your way towards Good Neighbor. There are occasionally bits of detritus on the road. Olivia just blasts through them. They're not that big. This truck is pretty well built. It's not going that fast. It takes you about, I'd say, yeah, roughly about an hour to navigate between the two places because there is a clear stretch of road. On your way, however, give me a round of perception survival checks, and I'm not going to tell you what the target is. This is not that kind of test.
What was that? Perception survival?
Yep.
Back to 2 dice or just 1?
It's a 2 dice. This is a proper test.
Oh, everyone, or just
1 success from Carl.
Oh, wow. That's 2 critical failures from Augusta and Freddy. 1 from Carl. Okay.
Got distracted by a cloud, okay?
So, whilst Freddy and Augusta are
and
getting...
one from Jade.
Okay. Augusta and Freddy, you are in the middle of a heated debate about something. What it is can be up to you, but you are basically too
Water
distracted
pipes.
arguing
Copper.
with each other. You are in an argument. You are making a bit more noise than maybe you should. Jade and Carl. In the distance, you can see a row of people in the distance marching towards you. There's 4 or 5 people in a row walking towards you.
What is specific about them that makes it sound like we don't think they're actually people?
At this point, you just see 5 figures, 4 or 5 figures, basically,
okay.
in the distance. You can't work out what they are or who they are or anything. If you rolled more, you might have got more information, but with the 1, you're getting the bare minimum. You can see some silhouettes in the distance.
That looks more humanoid than animals.
Yeah, that's basically it. They are humanoid.
Do they look skinny or bulky? Can we tell that at least?
No.
All right.
If you've got a 3 or something, then absolutely you would know exactly what these things are.
Let me check my inventory if I have binoculars or not. I don't remember.
Did those that noticed them tell those that didn't?
They'll probably just tell
I
us
do
to
not
shut
have
up.
binoculars.
Or are you telling us to be quiet, arguing over what the copper should be used for gun casings or pipes, you know?
Oh, Olivia Barstow had a look and was just like, and just says, "There's some people coming. Maybe people. There's something. They're walking. They're coming towards us. This is a pretty long stretch of road. They are a couple 100 feet away at this point.
We get company in a bit of time. Question is, if they have seen us, they should have, since we are bigger than they are, probably.
Freddy's gonna veer away from the truck. I mean, try to put some space between him and the vehicle, so there's 2 targets more or less.
Fair enough.
Not right next to each other.
Olivia looks around.
Mikey J to come over with me too, also.
Olivia looks around and says, "What do you want me to do?"
Are we just going to drive forward, or are we stopping and waiting for them to reach us?
Those that are driving and in the truck would be the ones to decide. At least that's Freddy's thought.
Because we could just stop and get out so they can see how many we are. If that makes a difference. Or we could keep driving. If we're in the car, it should give some bit of protection too. Maybe it's better to be in the car than outside it if they start shooting.
I think we can keep driving towards them.
All right, if everyone's agreed with that, I'll keep driving forward, Olivia says.
I'll whisper into the pit boy to send a message to the cabin. Carl, maybe you want to sneak to the side and stay hidden.
So Jade and Freddy and Tumu are outside of the vehicle at this point, behind the vehicle, right?
I've tried to make myself hidden or stealthy somewhat. I don't know if there's any way in the landscape or terrain that I can use to kind of avoid being seen.
Yeah, you are basically on a... I don't know if they call them this in the States, but like a dual carriageway, essentially.
Okay. Yep.
So there are various cars and other bits of detritus on that you can hide behind, and you can skip between them, maybe pretty easily.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep something between us and them at all times, especially, but still moving forward semi-parallel with the vehicle.
Okay, as you move forward in this way, give me another perception survival check.
And Jade might have stayed in the cabin with Olivia. I think this is a group effort about the dice gods in this one.
Freddie, you just rolled another 20. But
Yeah,
you got two successes.
Just ignore it. Just ignore the roll of the 20. Yeah, he sees them, but then steps on the snake. I get it.
2 successes for Carl.
Okay, so what happens to Freddy is that he, as the group, the two groups approach, Freddy trips and falls over, and he loses. Let me do a roll. 1 hit point, and makes a loud sound as he does. Carl, you can have a better view. You can see that this is a row of 5 synths. Generation 1 synths walking in a line towards you. You don't know if they've spotted you. Augusta, you rolled a critical success, which means 2 successes, which means you got the same information as Carl. But you can see that there is actually more than 5 synths. There is maybe 15 of them, because they are walking in rows of 5. There is at least 15, maybe more rows behind them still. This is a unit of synths marching somewhere. Nobody at this point knows if they have seen you, but they're not firing at you or anything, so that is something. What would you like to do?
We have synths coming in.
Lots of synths.
Lots and lots of them.
I don't think this thing will go off road.
Rocket launcher up.
Sorry, I didn't catch. Which generation of synth was this?
You can only see Generation 1s. Augusta, you can also just see Generation 1s. These are not the smart ones. These are the dum-dums. But there's a lot of them.
I mean, how strong do you think the front of the truck is? Should we just go bowling?
Or try to drive around and, like, if they are going somewhere and their orders isn't to stop anyone.
I can't just reprogram 15 of them all at once.
No, but that's what I mean. If they have orders to go somewhere and not to stop anyone, then we can drive past them.
Also, this is their truck. Why would they attack this truck?
You make a good point. Drive casual? Drive normal?
Always works for the cops in the real world.
Act as if you belong.
That's been my entire working career, says Olivia. I assume you send the message over Pip-Boy to the group who are in hiding. Okay, so those who are hiding, give me a stealth roll. To successfully stealth your way through this, you will need a DC 2.
Or maybe call them in and have them beside the truck again, so the truck can give them some cover if needed.
I'm stealing an action.
So that's now 5 action points you've got, right?
Yep.
That's what.
All right, Freddy is like a ghost. He essentially vanishes from view. You can still communicate and stuff over Pip-Boy, so it's not like you've lost him. But yeah, you look around and just like, Freddy's
You
like...
need me to do that for Kumu and Mikey, or just gonna let me have it?
I'm going to assume that you know how to hide a group of people. Like, I know this is kind of in D&D money. This would be like a level 2 spell I'm giving you for free. But yeah, at this point, like...
I'm fine with that. I just wanted to make sure if I needed to keep rolling, because it could get interesting.
Yeah. In the rules with the companions, like, they move like you do in battle, so I don't see any reason why they can't do that when not in battle. So yeah, you're all hidden. You're all, like, you're telling Mikey J, like, head down. Take your shoes off.
I know you know
loud.
better. Get down. Crawl, Tumu. Crawl.
Tumu, very well trained Brahmin, has the ability to crawl. Don't ask me to describe what that looks like, because I have no idea what a cow looks like crawling. But, you know, whatever. So yeah.
That might...
You approach, and as you get closer, you get to the point where you can identify that there are 25 synths in this group as a unit walking in a very straight line towards you. They do not react to the truck's presence at all. And you come up alongside of them. None of them look at you. If anybody wants to do anything at any point, just yell it out. Yell it out loud and clear so I can hear it. I don't want to miss anything. But I'm assuming that the truck is just going to keep moving past them.
We will stay hidden until such time as they're passed.
You have passed the synths. They keep marching. And you keep driving. And Olivia lets off a massive sigh of relief. And so
We might
does...
all do.
And the overseer is going to give a sigh of relief too, because now I don't have to drag out 25 fucking counters that I made earlier today and set up that battle map, which would have been fucking annoying. But yeah, so you carry on down the road and you make it to the turn off.
Before we get that far, Michelle, give me a second. Jade, maybe you should get on that walkie-talkie and let them know there's a group of synths heading their way. I don't necessarily like all the people there, but there's some friends among the tower. I'm guessing that might be a target. Tell them to be, if you can.
Yeah.
Oh, Monofonto.
Do we have any...
You have that walkie-talkie they gave us to track, so I'm assuming we might be able to talk back to them.
Is it me that have that? Okay.
I thought you did.
Someone did.
Yeah.
So whoever...
Someone have
give it to Freddy. They didn't give it to Freddy. I know that much.
So from whoever happens to be holding it, and you're not in combat or anything, so it doesn't really matter who's holding it. I'm suddenly tangled up in my hair. I dyed my hair recently and it's black, and I've got a black cable and I'm wearing a black top, so this is all getting a bit hard to navigate. But yeah,
It does look nice, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I wasn't fishing. That wasn't what I was doing, but thank you. I appreciate people saying nice things.
I did notice the difference. I just couldn't figure out what it was, so thank you for letting me know what it was.
It's all good.
I'm a man, so
I've changed my look significantly. I've decided to let my freak alt heart fly and go a bit goth as I approach 40. This is either a midlife crisis or reclaiming or unmasking my autism. I don't know which. Let's not dive into that too heavily. That's from my therapist. But yeah, you... Whoever has the contraption that was given to you, it was a pre-war walkie-talkie. It has been heavily modified. There's a couple of circuit boards sticking out of it. But there is a button that you would press to be like, hello, if you wanted to use it as a walkie-talkie.
Whom has it, and are they going to do let Power know? Otherwise, give it to Freddy.
No, I don't think that's a good idea. But I can definitely do it. So yeah, Jade will. I don't know if he will call up or he will just press the button to like signal.
Okay, you press the button, and there's a brief pause, and then a voice pops out of it saying, "Hi, this is Frank. Who's this?"
Which one of them were there?
Frank is Betsy's lead man. He's the guy who led you around Monofonto Towers before you left.
Okay. This is Jade. We have just passed a group of 25 Gen 1 synth. They might be on their way to you.
Well, for real? Well, so let me track your location. You can hear some tapping and some static over the radio, and he says, Alright. Nice to see you're on your way to Good Neighbor. Alright, mark that location. If they are heading here, they'll probably get here in about 30, 45 minutes, maybe. Thanks for the heads up. I'll let them know. And if they come here, they will be... Well, I don't know if synths can feel sorry, but we'll make them fucking sorry.
Good
Thanks
to
for the
hear.
heads up. You didn't
You're
have to
welcome.
do that.
Of course we did.
Huh. Fair enough. Well, over and out. Unless there's anything else.
No, over and out.
Alright, over and out. So, you drive forward and you make it to the turn off towards Good Neighbor. Freddy, you know that if you wanted to, you could probably drive this truck all the way to the gate. If you really wanted to, from here. But, because this is basically a path where lots of caravans and stuff would go to trade with Good Neighbor. But, yeah, what would you like to do?
I would suggest parking that outside, and how do we turn it off now that you used bubble gum to make it work?
Augusta, you know that all you need to do is you need to disconnect 2 wires that will power it down, and you just need to twist them back up to power it up again.
Okay, I guess we can park it here. Have Mikey and Tumu guard it for us?
It was Mikey that had the bubble gum, wasn't it?
Yes.
Mate, quick question. Have you got any more of that bubble gum?
You hear a pop. Yeah, but I've only got He looks and just says, I've
Never
only
mind,
got
don't worry about it.
13 sticks left.
Well, just checking in case we need more for later.
Alright. He pulls out all of the contents of one of those and pops them in his mouth.
Do not get gum inside that helmet. You'll be cleaning it for days.
Maybe Augustus should secure just a couple of those for later if necessary.
Well, okay. This is for the team.
If we don't use them, I'll give you them back.
Alright. Do me a favour. If they're selling any... if they're selling any in Good Neighbor, pick some up for me, would you?
If I get the chance, I'll get you some more. What's your favourite flavour?
There are different flavours.
Oh, my dear sweet child. Okay, if there are other flavours, I'll get other flavours.
Oh, do you think they'll have mole rat meat flavour?
I hope not. There's so many better flavours. Sit tight and I'll bring you what I can bring you.
Alright, thank you. He puts his helmet back on.
Freddy will hand each of you a stim pack. Keep it with you
Thank you.
in case.
Oh yeah, can you give me a couple to stock up?
Yeah, he'll hand you like 5 of them.
Yep.
I only got 4 left on Tumu, so the rest of us each have 1, and Jade has 5.
Okay.
We got to
We have
find
to
some
go.
more,
We've got some
Yep.
money, right?
or
We
make
can
some
just
more.
get some.
Well, I believe it can be made if we can find the necessary materials. Looking over at Jade, our chemstress.
Yep.
Excuse me. He is a chemist. Excuse me.
So when I make, if they can be made by me, they should last or give double.
When you, yeah, but you, I don't. These ones weren't made by you.
No.
I just wanted to make sure everybody had one this time because I know there was an issue last time with did I have one or not have one? Yeah.
Okay, so now you've all stim packed out. You leave. I assume you're leaving Mikey J and Tumu by the truck. Are you leaving anybody else by the truck?
I'm not leaving Miss Nanny.
And Miss Nanny
I will
says, "And
hand
I'm
Mikey
never
a
leaving
laser."
you."
I was going to hand Mikey a laser and tell him to march around the truck like he's a well-trained warrior.
But I'm not a well-trained warrior. I know how to
I
grow
said, look,
things.
just march like you know what you're doing.
He
Fake
You
gives.
can go right, left. Just walk the perimeter. Pet Tumu. No more staring contest. He will win.
Not if I take out her fucking eyes.
Hey, you hurt Tumu.
I didn't say anything. Yes, sir. Clang. And he starts just marching around the truck in a circle. And he just says, "You're gonna be long, because I might get a bit tired." Oh, you're muted, Tim.
Oh, just make it look like you're protecting it. I just, do a pass every once in a while.
All right. So he lifts up the gun and
Look
just points it in
threatening at
front of
anybody
him
who
as he
comes too
marches
close.
in a circle, like this.
Yeah. Some people make Jim look smart sometimes.
Okay, so I'm assuming if everybody else is coming, so you make your way around the corner, and you see that there in front of you, there is a road leading towards a scrap wall. This is a typical scrap wall of settlements in and around the Boston area. Chunk of old car, old road signs, bits of sheet metal, all clung together. Above the scrap together door, there is a sign that says "Good Neighbor," that's made up of different lit up signs. It's a bit like those those kidnappers would make a sign like a letter out of newspaper bits. It's kind of like that, but with signs, lights, lit up signs. And you can see that there is the road that leads towards it, which is about maybe a couple 100 yards. And as you walk down it, a light is shined onto your face. It's the middle of the day. It is already lit up, but they are shining like a floodlight on you that obscures your vision heavily. And you hear a very loud voice saying, "Identify yourselves."
Oh, not this again.
Oh, I should have. No, actually, I just made a mistake. Sorry. For reasons that I explained to the players earlier, I'm very tired and likely to make mistakes, and that was a mistake. I want to give you the opportunity to do sneak. I should have done that. That's my bad. I didn't want to force you into the situation. So let's rewind a bit. Yeah. Cut this out of the thing. And yeah, so you see the road in front of you.
Oh,
You haven't been spotted yet. The lights haven't happened yet. What would you like to do?
Do we see anybody on the walls, walking around, guards near the gate, etc.? What has been the process previously when I came here?
Right now, you don't see anybody. You don't see anybody on the wall. You don't see anybody. I know that I basically gave you a bit of a cheat because you know that there is a light and a person there now. But try to put that to one side. You don't see anyone. Yep. Your usual approach would be that this door would usually be open. Like, Good Neighbor would not shut this door usually. They want to be open to traders and open to trade. They would only shut it if they identified a threat. So, Freddy, you know that someone is probably watching this road, but you don't see anyone, and the door is shut.
I will convey that information to everybody to make sure they're aware of it. This is not normal. Usually it's open, you can go right in. But I guess things are a little tense around here, so...
I mean, we're kind of representing people who are a bit tense with them.
Well, we're here as traders. We have all sorts of stuff to trade.
I feel like you or Carl should probably be taking the lead on this then. What do you normally do?
I go in, go up to the gate, go in and set up trade opportunities with the merchants inside and other people here.
Well, if they're on edge, maybe we should approach slowly and peacefully so they don't shoot first.
Always a good decision, and
Jade might stay back because for what we know, their encounters with mutants might not be good, and he will have taken off his lab coat when we drove from the factory too, since we are wanted.
How about I grab Tumu and me and one or two of others go up to the gate and we find out what's going on. The rest of you stay here and watch and that might be just a companion stay in Jade, but...
Freddy, you're in negotiation mode right now. You're not in fuck you all and spit on the hole, right?
No, I want to see what's going on here so we can make some profit, sell things, at desperate times.
Cool.
You can
Just
make a large profit.
Before you go in, I haven't had a chance to say it. That gold bar, it wasn't worth much these days, right?
This is not the kind of thing that
not many people are worried about gold. I mean, think it can be used in some stuff, but
the Wasteland has several different... Oh, sorry.
Not very large.
The Wasteland has several different currencies. The most prominent is bottle caps. In the West, you have heard that there is different forms of money. There is scripts that is usually that was the currency of choice for various slavers. Caesar's Legion being the most prominent. There's the New California Republic brought back dollars. But yeah, no, bars of gold, that is only going to be valuable to the certain kinds of people who could maybe have use for it. Maybe for electronics, or maybe because they just really like gold. But yeah, there's not a big jewelry trade. There's no gold standard in the Commonwealth, really.
So if there isn't, first of all, Jade would have been kind of like when we found that, since he is pre-war, he would have known what it was, and yes, he's a 200-year-old mutant, but some part of him is still that 13-year-old pre-war boy somewhere inside. So he will probably have asked Freddy if he can have that just for sentimental reasons or for using in his lab.
As long as you carry it.
I will, don't worry.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the value of gold is at the moment, but there was a time, maybe 10 years ago, where a gold bar was like $5,000. I don't know how to translate that to pre-war Fallout. I'd imagine inflation was a problem, so it's probably worth about $10,000 maybe. Pre-war. Now it's not worth $10,000. It's not worth 10,000 bottle caps. But yeah, cool. So Freddy,
that was it.
Augusta, and Carl are approaching. Jade is going to stay back. Is that right?
Sounds right to me.
Any of the companions coming along, or are they staying?
Might be like looking at you and like asking, would you want Olivia with you just to have an extra weapon in case you need it?
I'm hoping we don't need any weapons, and if we do, just come and get us. You'll hear us making noise.
Fair.
All right. I don't know if this is necessarily giving you a cheat or not by me asking, but it feels like this is information I do need to know. Augusta, what are you wearing? That came off as a little bit.
Didn't think it was that kind of stream. It's the Fallout track. The traditional. I've forgotten all my words. Help me out, please.
Vault
the thing that
suit.
people in the vault. Yeah, vault suit.
And
With
you
a-
still haven't thought about maybe changing it out with Olivia's with another number?
Well, I had been in the power armor for some time, so that was kind of a help. But I've got the science coat on over it, so the number's covered up.
So you're wearing your science, your lab coat over the top of your vault suit.
Thank you for the vocabulary help.
All right.
We have all been there.
So the group of approachers are approaching. And at that point, a blinding light is shining into your eyes from a fair distance, and you hear a voice over maybe a megaphone, some kind of sound boosting equipment just says, "Identify yourselves."
Freddy the Merchant with Tumo the Cow and a few others.
As a pause.
I've been here before, and I will mention a couple of them, other merchants. I don't have that list in front of me open right now.
There's a pause. And at that point, the light comes down and says, "All right, we
Obviously
can let
some
you in, but
trouble
we
here.
have to search you. Do you agree?"
What are you searching for? Because I got a lot of stuff here that I don't want ruffled through. And he points to the stuff on the back of Tumu. I have no contraband drugs. I have no slaves.
Looks around and says, "To be honest, if you had chems, that would be really great to trade. We'd like chems here. We
Why?
don't want... We have to be careful." Freddy, give me a speech perception check. DC...
Speech perception.
DC 2. Okay.
Damn, I'm rolling really crappy today.
You glean nothing from the tone of this voice. You don't know what their deal is.
It's electronic overridden. It's no body language to go with it. So yeah. Well, he whispers over, "We left the walkie-talkie over in the truck, right?" Okay. At that point, well, I guess if you need to search, but I'm willing to trade.
There's a pause. And then the voice says, "We welcome the opportunity to trade, but don't mess with us."
You looking for anything in particular? I'll let you know if I even have it on here.
"Come on in." And you see in front of you the door opens.
I will start to move towards it. Because running away now would probably get you shot in the back.
So as you approach, you can see that there's 4 people waiting for you on the other side of the doorway. They are dressed in various cobbled together bits of armor, all of whom are holding various guns. One person is holding a Tommy gun and has a trilby. Another person is holding a machine gun, like a mini gun. Another person is holding a pistol, a Desert Eagle pistol. Another person is holding another kind of gun that you can't really see at this point. They're not holding them up, they're just holding them.
Good afternoon, gentlemen and ladies.
All right. Put down all your stuff over here. We're going to have to go through everything.
Oh.
So they variously pat you down and they start going through your stuff. The whole thing takes about 20 minutes. So right now the time is 2:30. It's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon by the time you're all done. Now let me have a quick look at the Tumu sheet.
I'm going to be severely watching what they do, everything they touch. And I got locked cases. Keep that in mind, a couple of them.
You've got locked cases.
I got one locked case carrying nuclear warheads.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So the man in the trilby hat holding the Tommy gun says to you, all right, here's what we're going to do. You can keep your personal weapons. That is what we'll let you do. Just in case we need you to stand on the walls and defend.
We ain't here to defend. We're not staying. We're here to do deals. So
if we get attacked while you're here, you may want to help us out, because then helping us out is going to help you out.
Here, yes, if you're attacked while here, but we want to do business and get out of here. If that's what you're pending attack. Why are you being attacked? Who's attacking you? What are you?
Everyone.
I mean, usually you guys have the
Since
things have changed.
Monofonto Towers, it's all gone to hell. Where have you been?
I'm traveling north from south. We just came. I'm doing my normal travel circuit, and things have changed in the last 6 months.
You, bow guy, what were you going to say?
It's interesting you say that you're under attack by Monofonto Towers, because we passed that way, and they say they're under attack by you guys.
Yeah. Yeah, that's reasonable.
So...
Look, I don't want to get into the politics of this with you. I don't know who you are, but look, it's not what it looks like. You've clearly come here to trade, and we need to trade. But here's what's going to happen. We're going to take these weapons that you've got carrying on, you've got with you. These other weapons that you will not need while you're here. If you want to trade them, tell them that Jinx has got them in the lockup. Tell them what they can have, and we'll facilitate that for you. But you can't carry these with you. And also, I need you to open this box. And he pulls out the box that Freddy has.
Why do you need me to open the box?
Because I want to make sure that this isn't a bomb that you were planting here on behalf of somebody that wants to kill us.
Oh, those are bombs.
What?
Those are mini nukes in that box.
Okay, our master negotiator, everyone.
I want you to open this box so we can make sure they're not armed or anything, and then we will keep a hold of these too, with the rest of these extra weapons.
He punches in the code, opens the box. There should be several laying in there.
Okay. Different members pick them up. They can easily see that they're not attached to anything and they're fairly normal, and says, okay.
They go with the fat boy, and he points to that.
All right. He closes it back up.
I'm willing to sell these if you're willing to purchase.
We'll put these with the rest of your weapons, and you can tell whoever, if you trade these in, you can tell them they're here.
True.
These are going to be under, your possessions will be under the protection of John Hancock's people. If you've dealt with Good Neighbor as much as you say you'd have, then we should have no problems. You should understand that we aren't about screwing people over. You will get your positions back on the way out.
Okay, I'm glad things have not changed in these times of trouble. Other than a
No.
little bit of searching and a little more noise, but I guess I can understand. But why are you guys fighting with Monofonto Tower? And what's going on with Silver's? I'm drawing a blank. There's my brain going. Silver City.
Oh, Diamond City.
Diamond City.
If you want information about what's going on, you might be best checking out the third rail, or maybe talking to John Hancock if you can see him. He might be in the townhouse.
Just as we're sitting here, though, Freddy's looking around. What is he observing in the courtyard area that we're in? Is
So where you
that
are
why
is
this
that
was
you
all going
are
on?
what used to be in the entranceway. In fact, I'm going to get the map up because you would probably you would know roughly the layout. This is going to reflect changes that have happened since you were last here. You might need to refresh roll 20 to see this, players. Is that showing up right on the thing? Yeah, I just need to refresh on my end. Okay. So, Freddy, the layout of Good Neighbor would be this, but without the defenses, essentially, everywhere. You are in this road area here that has had a makeshift, like, shed built on it around the entrance you just walked in. So you are in a fairly newly put together scrap shed, which has a table where all of your stuff is lined up. There's a few lockers behind you. There is a machine that punches out tickets. You're assuming that you would get a ticket from this to reclaim your items later. And along the other wall, there is a number of different weapons attached to the wall. Sort of like a handy place if suddenly a bunch of people in this area needed weapons, they could grab them. And yeah, that's just where you are right now. You can tell you were in the...
Things have changed a little bit, but what other people there? What are we seeing crowd-wise, people-wise? Just these guards?
Yeah, the streets outside of this like shack that has been roughly put together fairly recently. You don't really see that many people walking around. You see one or two residents of Good Neighbor walking around.
Okay.
But yeah, you're basically
well,
here. You've got a limited view. You could basically from here just about see the corner of the third rail, which is a bar that you have been in.
Okay, well, I just wanted to get an idea of what we were looking at. Looking over, okay, I guess that's probably a good idea to go see John and check over to Goodrail. But is Beatrix Cafe still open? Anything good this time of year?
The day Beatrix shuts that cafe is the day Good Neighbor's dead.
Good. We could use some good food and a little bit of drink, but we'll be probably trying to get out of here as quick as possible. So
that might be best.
All right, shall we make our way in and look into the rest of the group? And knowing that we have a semi-hard stop for today's session, I just figured get close.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it is 9 o'clock.
Off,
yeah. Okay, so let's play this out and wrap this up. So you walk in, and the streets are not nearly as populated as they would usually be. You can see there's some people walking around, but then one person, a youngish woman, stops and stares at Augusta and walks up to her and says, "You're Augusta from Vault 75.
Depends who's asking.
And drops the holster.
I'm not asking, I'm just... I mean... Billy! Augusta from the Defenders of the Commonwealth is here!
Please don't shout. That's really unhelpful.
Billy then walks up and says, "You're Augusta from the Defenders of the Commonwealth."
Don't wear it out. It'll get a hole.
Hey, everyone! Augusta from the Protectors of the Commonwealth is here! Suddenly there is a small crowd around you looking around, and you notice that some of these people are wearing t-shirts with the number 75 on them. You see another few people wearing t-shirts appear to have a crudely drawn super mutant on it, wearing a lab coat. And at that point, people start cheering, saying, "The defenders of the Commonwealth are here! They've come to save us all! Huzzah! Huzzah!" And that's where we'll leave it for today.
All right.
Yikes. I should have worn that helmet.
I gave you a chance. I gave you the chance.
I know, but I was trying to roleplay it properly.
Oh, thank you for doing that. That was cool. All right. So
at least they're probably not going to sell us out then.
Or kill us. Yet. All right.
I know that might have been the last thing you expected to happen in Good Neighbor, but I promise you it will make sense. We'll go into what the hell just happened next time. But yeah, thank you for playing, everyone. Thank you for watching, everyone. Players, if you want to plug anything, now's the time.
All of Cthulhu next Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
And I believe our YouTube channel has some very fine Dragonbane videos, doesn't it, Tim?
It's starting to, and I actually have to post one here because I have to sit and edit it here shortly.
That wasn't a nag. That was just me like, more people should watch that. It's good.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we're getting time. We'll get it up. I have one session up. We'll get number 2 up here quick, which is actually episode 3 because we do not speak of episode 1 with all the tech issues. So. But other than that, enjoyed myself, Michelle. I hope we get more. I like the humor of them being heroes now, praised everywhere.
Yeah.
I need to dip, so
yeah.
bye,
Thanks for
you
watching,
guys.
everyone. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.